what it's doing is it's just like building up real strength. And it's almost like somewhere you knew what that felt like, but you forgot it because it was just never really there. It was never really there. It was a lot of illusions of strength. It was like a capped. Things were capped all the time. And as soon as you busted through that, now you're just on your own and you're...
It's very accurate.
Hello, I'm Ruth Barclay, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Taste Your Magic. And what we do here is we help individuals with developing their gifts and tasting their magic and seeing what is already naturally theirs that maybe they know or they don't know, but also how to amplify their gifts and create that into almost a superpower and how that can function into their whole world of their life and their creations and help them. And that consists of a lot of events, private workings, mentoring, readings, and some fun stuff. But today what we're doing is we're doing readings for people. And I like to categorize those in 3 sections. So oracle reading is anything about yourself, anything you've got going on with you, a question about what's going on in your life. Also, I do animal communications where we talk to an animal and they can be passed on or they can be with you currently. And the last one is angel connections. This is a medium work. We talk to people who have passed on in that one. And what's fun is I love the live sessions, and we have Chip with us today. Chip, I'm so
excited
happy
to be here.
So I've known Chip for a while. He's been to some of our workshops. He's a good friend. A lot of different things we've been able to just dance around in the different spaces. And so thank you for coming and playing and being vulnerable on my show and being one of the first out there for it.
I am honored to be here. Honored to be here with you, and to have you as a friend has just been amazing for me.
Thank you.
I love you and Scott, and I love your gifts, and super excited for this.
Yeah, you've been able to see me in a lot of different usages of the gifts. Yeah, I like that. Thank you. So before we start, though, so I've got black tourmaline. This is a major protector in transitions for me. This is a bad boy. And so if you feel like it during this little session, you are welcome to hold it and or keep it by you. So as we transition through this.
I love it. I love the weight of that.
So do you have any specific questions, or what are you feeling like today?
I don't have a specific question. I've actually been thinking about it since you called me, trying to come up with a question. And every time it was to put it into your hands. So often when I do card readings or other things, I often like to have the reader even pull for me. So
yeah,
and you're one of the most insightful people that I know, and I'm here to learn from you.
Yeah, thank you. So I got to be set free a little bit. There's some other things that want to come through and talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
So
there always is with you.
I wanted to go like kind of a different direction, but what keeps coming in is a grandpa on your dad's side. Mm-hmm. So do you know his name?
Yeah.
So I don't have to ask him?
So he's the one that came to me when we were together a year and a half ago.
Oh, really?
And he's like the only one who's come to me.
Wow.
And, yeah, so his name is Jack, but yeah, it's interesting that you brought him, or that he wants to be here again.
Yeah, we might keep it short the best we can. With grandpas, you never know. Grandmas are really the worst, but grandpas are usually short and sweet with stuff. Mm-hmm. He just wants to mostly say, "You're doing it. You're doing it. Your backbone's strong. Your shoulders are like pulling up. They're strengthening again. The support system that's around you is building again. It's happening, like it's really happening." And he just wants to honor you and just say it's being seen in a lot of places, and it's real. It's real this time, and he's sorry for the weakness that was around you for so long. Ooh.
Wow.
I can repeat that one. He is sorry for the weakness that was around you for so long. After the show, I'm going to get a big hug for that
Yes,
one.
absolutely. I'm like just wanting a hug right now.
Oh, my
Like,
God. But anyway, what it's doing is it's just like building up real strength. And it's almost like somewhere you knew what that felt like, but you forgot it because it was just never really there. It was never really there. It was a lot of illusions of strength. It was like a capped. Things were capped all the time. And as soon as you busted through that, now you're just on your own and you're kind of floating around with what is strength in movement and protection and love and community and like all the alls. What is the strength? And you went through such a expansion alone, and now reality's coming in. And so that's what he's saying, and I get to just go on with it more, that you are like the strengths you're feeling in your body, the strengths you're feeling around you, the strengths you're feeling are real now. And so I don't know if you're ready to lean on things yet, but it's gonna be freaking cool. Like the home's gonna be stronger. Like everything is just gonna be, it's gonna be able to hold and have the capacity and capabilities of like who you are and what you create and what you bring in and the love that you bring into everything and all of those dreams that are there. They just didn't have something strong enough to hold them safe, and you can do it by yourself.
Right.
So, do you want to share anything on that?
Yeah, that is, it's very accurate. I have felt, and this is not downplaying anyone in my life, right? I think my parents are fantastic. I have fantastic siblings, and some of my siblings have been amazing supports in my life, and partners and other things. But there is also this level of depth of relationships that has been really starting to come in, right? You and Scott are some of those people, and I'm not going to cry on this thing. But really there are, I've spent much of my life as a cheerleader and being there for others and lifting others up. And I was the support, right? And
I've even felt it from you so much.
And I love being the cheerleader, but there was this element missing where I didn't feel like I could lean back. Yeah. Like I could have people lean into me and I was there and they love it. But it's only been recently that I've really started to find people coming into my space that are also pillars.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And it's a little awkward at times, huh?
I mean, it can be.
It's real.
Yeah. And it's, those people have been there, right? And it's the awareness and it's the seeing who's the ones that you can lean into, right? Yeah. Or who are the ones that you can lean into, right? Yeah.
Well, that's been some big things that I've also realized is, there's so many good supporters, but if you're an elephant, you can't be a good, little mouse supporter. It's just impossible. So they can only go to the certain capacity that there is. And so it's the honoring of those relationships, what I appreciate you doing. And then also recognizing, okay, and I can't crush you and I'm not going to. And I actually do need some of my own support that can handle it. So yeah, well, because you're going into an evolution is what I keep hearing. Like you're at the forefront of a big evolution, and you're witnessing a lot of it crumble, a lot of it take off, a lot of it created and then not quite sustainable, and then you see some stuff that's just growing and you're like, ooh, pretty sure that's going to turn into something. Yeah. And you're a witness, you're something that can be capable in that next evolution, and so that puts you automatically in a leadership position. But leaders do need the support.
Right. Yeah, and every evolution is both scary and beautiful. I look at the evolutions that I've been through and the changes, and I am so grateful for who I am and where I am, and People often talk about regrets and other things like that. And I have regrets, but not in the sense of I want to change what happened, because I am very, like, I love who I am. But there are still pieces in my life that are painful and hard, that, there are those moments where you're like, could I have done this differently, right?
Yeah.
But this is definitely an evolution where the people are starting to come into my space, that I see that next level very clearly coming, and it's exciting and terrifying, right?
Yeah, it feels like this.
Yep.
Like the drop before a roller coaster ride.
Yep.
That's what it feels like.
It absolutely does. It's one of the reasons I'm glad the camera is cut off right here.
Yeah, yep. And you're like, I'm in the front. Gosh, that's so good. Well, there is a sneak peek though that can help you, and one of it is there's 3 main parts to your evolution that you've been going through, that you have been through. I don't know is or doing, okay? But it's to look back at what was the pain point you were supposed to feel in it for the information. So that's the nitty gritty. What was the pain point I was supposed to feel in this for the information? And then it's going to unlock a lot for just body parts and everything to feel better, okay? And you'll have to let me know what those are, okay?
Yeah.
We would share that here.
I'm excited to dig into that.
Yeah. And it will be. It should be exciting. It'll be like a recap in like a whole, wow, I made it through now. Now I'm ready for the information. I can look at it with the information now. Yeah,
I'm going to need to dig in more to what my granddad is seeing and wanting to bring. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much time we had, but I could recite a quick part of that when we got together a year and a half ago and had those readings. My granddad was the one who came as well. And he came with, he passed away when I was 12, and I'd only met him very limited times. And I have one picture of him, and the person that he came through to talk to me in this space that you had set up, she described that picture perfectly, right?
Wow.
And I'm like crazy, but he brought up this element about me being able to fly. And it wasn't until after that conversation, there were several other things that came up, but it was after that conversation that I started to remember some of the dreams that I had through much of my teenage years about flying, and they were so real to me. It wasn't like jump into the air and fly away, but it was like moving the energy around me and lifting up and being able to move through energy and space, and they were so real to me that the only reason that I can look back on them and say they were dreams is because I'm not flying now.
Yeah.
Right? But the connection that I made after that experience was that he passed away when I was 12 years old, which is when those dreams started. Yeah.
Wow. So you're in training.
Yeah.
You're in a training in your sleep. And I was like, hey, now it's time for you to start.
Yeah.
How do you implement that in reality, those feelings?
Yeah.
So you can fly. Like, seriously, though. It'd be like flying, like, seriously. What if you start flying? I fully anticipate that I will. So I pick a word of the year every year. And last year my word was harmony, bringing things into alignment that hadn't been sitting well, hadn't been resonating well. And I think this really speaks to that of the people in my life moving into a space where the right people are in my life. And my word of the year for 24 is generate. And it ties a lot into regenerating my health, creating that space, but also harvesting the relationships and those things that are waiting there, that abundance that is just sitting there to come forward for me and all those that I love, right? To me, when I look at abundance, it's what I can do for all of us, not what I'm doing for me. And generate was just that word that came to me for that. And
So I'm looking forward to 24 for sure.
Yeah. Well done. Well done. I'm glad I'm in your circle.
I am too. Like genuinely, I truly mean that you and Scott have become some of my closest friends. So
Thank you.
very grateful for you.
We love you. Oh, then we have to close it out. It's so short, but we can talk more.
Yes,
now.
absolutely.
We can play a lot more. Thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for letting Grandpa come in again and share. And yeah, if you guys are ready for regeneration, to generate, it's time to pluck your abundance of what's waiting there for you. He said it. He is living proof of manifesting, and now he's taking the abundance, and we say for you to start to seek what is actually already there for you. And I want to end with that. Sound good?
Perfect.
Okay. All right.
Thanks again for having me.